G'day viewers, hope you've got a cuppa. Alex has posted a whopper of a patch list for Train Sim World 3 for the patch that should be live on all platforms right now. And it says, and I'll read it to you for improved accessibility to help those people out who can't read it for themselves or simply don't have time. Today we have a mighty list of changes that will be coming for Midland Mainline, Link Rheinstrecke, Bremen Oldenburg, Peak Forest, as well as additional changes to Isle of Wight, Ryde Shanklin, West Cornwall Local, Arosa Liddy, Luzerne Cersei, Main Spessart Bahn, and the 1938 Tube Stock. If you don't know what that is, it's another set of things that run on Bakerloo. There's a note that the full list of changes for MML is not quite completed, so this will get updated at some point. Let's have a look at what is there though, because why not? Midland Mainline, full host of improvements including an environment and scenery sweep, adjusting clipping objects and collisions, new timetabled freight services listed below, and a range of various gameplay fixes. Added 89 HST services, particularly between Derby and Leicester. Added 20 Ivanhoe services between Leicester and Nottingham, including 3 freight services. Added ROG service from Derby to Leicester, dragging the Blue Class 375. Re-enabled the ROG and Class 375 Blue service. Re-enabled the Toten HL to Leicester aggregate freight service. Updated the Class 66 rail tour to use Southeastern High Speed Class 66 instead of the RHTT version. Link Rheinstrecke. The BR103 window wipers now behave correctly. Vehicles will now correctly stop at level crossings. It was a bit disconcerting running over all those families, to be honest. Added overhead line equipment in the cold steel BR110 scenario. Improved visuals for trees across all seasons to prevent them appearing grey and popping into colour on approach. Yay. Full changelog for Core. For XSS. That'd be Xbox, wouldn't it? Removed large black objects appear in the sky. Aliens don't invade Train Sim World until 2177, apparently. I thought they'd already invaded Glasgow, actually. Anyway, on the X1X, XSS, and XSX, different Xbox versions there, the Gen 8s and 9s, Xbox memory improvements saving approximately 112 meg. Well, my Xbox S has only got 12 gigs, so I appreciate 112 meg. That's a significant percentage. Midland Mainline, and it does note that they're not fully written up yet. We've covered the first set. Improvements. The Derby Roundhouse replaced by Derby Station with new models and textures. NPCs will now spawn at East Midlands Parkway. Lamps no longer clipping into the wall at Derby Station. Added missing track point blades coming out of the tunnel before East Midlands Parkway. Adjusted the platform height at Siston Station. Fixed hedge materials displaying incorrectly. Fixed holes in the scenery at Derby Station. Talk about mind the gap. Fixed a gap in Leicester Footbridge, activated the AWS ramp for signal just north of Beeston Station. Passengers will no longer get stuck in the ground before boarding a train at Loughborough. Or is it Loughborough? I think it's Loughborough. Fixed a crash starting in the set pieces scenario. Fixed missing set junction objectives on the set pieces scenario. Fixed conflicting speed limit information around the curve at Long Eaton and before East Midlands Parkway from Nottingham. Rain and snow should no longer clip ends of Red Hill Tunnel. Fixed posters clipping into fences at East Midlands Parkway. Fixed flower pots attachment to fences at Long Eaton Station. Sheltons at East Midlands Parkway will no longer change size when moving away. Removed snow build-up appearing on Platform 1 at East Midlands Parkway. Fixed floating assets around platforms near Barrow-under-Saw and Nottingham. Fixed issues with passengers getting stuck or floating at Nottingham Station. Renamed text above Lounge on Platform 7 at Derby to read EMT Lounge. Achieving a gold medal on the 5D90 Derby Etches Park will now correctly display on the menu. Fixed text at the end of the night train scenario from disappearing quickly. Fixed Nottingham Station platform number signage with correct numbers. Redesigned Sawley level crossing to be more natural, added angled crossing plate, and removed a short 90 mph section when leaving Nottingham Station. Ooh, I need a drink after that. Additional things are fixed various collision areas and clipping across all stations along the route. Fixed various camera clipping issues, players can no longer fly through iconic buildings. Corrected various spelling errors. In the Class 158, window wipers now properly clear rain and snow. Cab gauges will now be visible if instrument lights are inactive or when in direct sunlight. Adjusted vigilance penalty and panel emergency timers to align with real-life setups. Added glass breaking to the vigilance isolation and traction isolation switches. Also changed the switches to be toggleable. Allowed gangway door to be opened from outside of cab of 2 coupled units. Added a set to the reverser. Added a set to set the reverser to off in the tutorial. Okay, it's an instruction. Added animations and a toggle to clipboard light switch. Prevented players from being able to click on the front coupler in external views. Implemented fault lamp test. When button is pressed, the engine stop and both transmission fault lights are illuminated. Additional various fixes and improvements to the BR158-2. Fixed Class 158 head hour light mimic panel to display marker lights as intended. Corrected coupler button logic to establish jumper cable connection between the couple button has to be pressed with the reverser in neutral. Tail lights are now correctly red. Removed the ability to interact with the second man's seat window through the front cab door. Fixed AI trains so that they can couple without issue. Train should work as expected when taking over from the AI after previously being coupled. Ensured that all guard panel buttons are clickable and that the buzzer has audio. Starting engine with aux lights extinguished will not trip alternator excitation. Ensured local control only shuts off the local engine and the engine can be restarted by pressing engine start. Fixed issue preventing sanding to never be applied on the rear coach. Fixed the blue door light to stay illuminated until all doors in the consist are closed and interlocked. Adjusted the platform height at Siston Station. Don't know what that's doing in the 158 fixes, but there you go. Various fixes to audio. Class 43 HST. You can now sit in the passenger seats once again. Fixed the not quite awake scenario to now start with the HST's reverser facing forward. Fixed issue where the doors appeared open after closing them from a distance. Fixed gangway doors to correctly display open and closed. Link Rheinstrecker. Gameplay fixes. Chapter 8 Alternating Current will now have a BR110 loco at one end, service RE3444. Fixed multiple red signals outside of Koblenz Station that were preventing progress in services and journey mode. Fixed signal sequencing at main station. The BR103 window wipers will now behave correctly. Vehicles will now correctly stop at level crossings. CIFR on the BR110 is now audible on the outside camera. Yes! No more random stops. Headlights on the N-wagons will now correctly illuminate surroundings. Improvements to DB Shims U708 and DB Taglitz 959 physics and brakes, ensuring trains are capable of departing and can stop within a reasonable distance. Route Art fixes. Added the overhead line equipment in the cold steel BR110 scenario. Improved visuals for trees across all seasons to prevent them appearing grey and popping into colour on approach. Improved snow build-up when appearing in the landscape and not over roads. Fixed position of platform N signal box at Koblenz Station. Fixed missing collision to various fences across the route. Fixed an area where the grass texture cut through the main road. Fixed signs clipping in station at Boppard Bad Salzig. Fixed an issue that caused many areas of the environment to have a checkered texture on the PS5. UI and menus. Added missing full stop to the St. Goa station name. Fixed blank options from appearing in Scenario Planner. Fixes to subtitled text in the BNRZDF463 N-Wagon Introduction Training module. Fixed incorrectly localized PIS on the side of IC coaches. Note physics improvements to the BR103 will come at a later date. Bremen-Oldenburg. Improvements to brake pipe physics on the Tadgids 959, Habens and Layers. Voiceover and subtitles will now correctly match in the BR110 training module for French and German languages. Fixed a subtitle error in the BR463 tutorial. Fixed load passengers objective to be completable in the BR110 introduction. Fixes to the BR103 introduction when operating the door via D-pad or analog focus. Added missing speed reduction on approach to Bremen Neustadt. The mastery tile will correctly show as available once the player has earned it. VOR signals will behave correctly on SH1 and HP2. The BR110 improvements to the BR110 passenger doors functionality. Fixed the BR110's CIFA audio not being played outside when activated from the menu. Window wipers will work as expected. Corrected intensity of headlights for the BR110 and N-Wagons. BR Press 155. Adjusted tap changer notch up-down time according to real-world data. Tuned brake force, pressure and general brake pipe physics to be more prototypical. BR425. Fixed the throttle movement lag on the BR425. BR463. Improvements to the interior model in the cab. Peak Forest, LMS4F, turned down the volume of the safety valve to match the 8F and Jubilee. Yes. Isle of Wight, Ride Shanklin. I won't go deaf driving steam engines anymore. Class 483, added emergency brake that can be toggled with a backspace. Animated guard panel buttons and increased button size to make them easier to click. Speedometer should correctly match the speed shown on the HUD. Train will correctly load passengers after saving and reloading from the menu. Fixed HUD display swapping brake cylinder and main res. Headlights should function correctly on AI services. Driver's seat is folded down by default when starting a service. Reduced hitbox of gangway door to prevent it getting in the way. Added collisions to passenger seats to prevent walking through them. You can no longer flip up the driver's seat while sat in it. That'd be pretty funny. Would you fall on the floor if you did that? Sliding shoes will now properly contact the third rail. Removed guard panel cameras. Adjusted the internal weather sounds. Reduced the volume of door warning audio. Implemented the guard buzzer audio. Improved footstep audio. Fixed entrance and exit animations when climbing aboard. Fixed animations for the guards' door open and close buttons. West, Cornwall, local. Removed chance for player to escape the world at St Austell Station. No fourth wall breaking here. Updated footstep audio at St Earth Station. Updated draw distance for tunnel and crossing at Truro Station. Passengers should also no longer clip onto the road as much. Class 150. Adjusted fuel position on the Class 150. Added wheel sparking effect plus water and snow kick-up effects. Increased revs when starting the train in Notch 3, dropping down when torque converter is filled. This is mainly an audio improvement. Class 37/5. Headlights will now correctly illuminate surroundings. Main Spessart Bahn. BR204. Fixed the release brake objective in training module, allowing it to be completed. Added walkie-talkie model to front of cab, which is used to contact signaller. Added fuel caps and refueling setup. Increased strength of headlights and also warmed the colour slightly. Manual wipers will now correctly clear rain and snow on windows. Removed duplicated BR204 in the service listing. Two 204s now couple closer together. Throttle power notches 4, 5 and 6 will now do something. Notches 1, 2 and 3 are power reduced. Fixed full service brake to correctly display. Fixed HUD brake percentage to match the output shown on the level. PZB should now appear on the HUD as well as the dashboard lights. Change the CIFA warning from bleep to CIFA audio. Adjustments to cab audio including PZB beeper volume. Reduce the sensitivity of the reverser control. Various adjustments to brake physics. Added rail driver support. Really? I thought it already had it. Okay. A Rosalini added the resume last played image. The GE/4/4 Updated running audio, flange audio, and whistle audio. Also, whistle horn volume will now correctly decrease as the camera moves away. Improved wiper audio panning and fixed external audio for wipers. Fixed the snow effect artifacts on the front window. Fixed clock in cab 2 to no longer be blank. Improvement to headlights. Improved animation of master key turning. Added wheel sparking effects and water and snow kick-up. No mention of the carriages sounding like shopping trolleys. Mind you, I have actually heard a video where they actually sound like that. So I've heard ones where they do and ones where they don't. Maybe they really do. Luzerne Cersei RABE 523. Rounded timetable to nearest minute. 1938 tube stock. Improved running audio when coasting. Tweaked audio for battery, running and traction motor. Headlights should now always turn on. AI drivers should now be sat in their seats, time to rest those sore feet. AI trains should now have passenger lights on, with lighting adjusted in the AI trains. Passengers should now correctly sit down without piling on top of each other. Fixed animations for guard panel buttons with a second button added to open the doors. Guard buzzer functionality added. Zzz. Increase of cab light brightness and headlight brightness. Added wheel spark effects. Improved handbrake animation. Doors can no longer be opened while the train is in motion. Wiper buttons should now be operational with the gamepad. Driving across gaps in the third rail should no longer result in you losing power. And that was it. Signed, DTG Alex. Well, there's a lot of changes that people have been waiting quite a while for there, so good to see them coming out. Good to see that sticking to what they said, that they're going to fix a lot of stuff. Excellent. Alrighty, well, that's it. If you've got any feedback or questions, chuck them down below and I'll see what I can do for you. Have fun, folks. Bye.